Hi everyone, and welcome to Insights by Johnita Francis. I am the one and only, thank God my husband says. And today we are doing a collective reading. There is so much grooving and moving going on the planet at the moment. Even my lorikeet agrees with that. You'll hear the running commentary in the background. Hopefully he doesn't drop any naughty words. Isn't that right, Alan? Good boy. So, I think he gets his argumentative nature from his mum. All right, so we're going to do a collective reading because there's lots going on. People are thinking about new things. They're thinking about stuff they've never thought about before, never considered before. What's next? How are we going to embrace it? We're kind of just starting to relax in, and I'm really pleased to see that just people around the world are starting to empower themselves, and they're feeling less weakened and less helpless. And more in control and more empowered. And I was actually teaching a group this morning about empowerment, and it's come up a couple of times in recent days about what empowerment is and how you can say yes to things and how to say yes to yourself. You know, about learning a new course, learning a new career, or understanding yourself better. That's the first thing you need to do is say yes. And yes is your empowered self, Y-E-S, your empowered self. So every time you say yes to something that you want to do, every time you say yes and make a step towards understanding something better, or giving yourself a greater level of confidence, boosting your self-esteem, having a new experience, going into a new relationship, even though you might have been really, not so cool relationships in the past. Every time you say yes and make that step towards it, you are empowering yourself, your empowered self. So with that, I thought I've just been through a huge leveling up, a huge spiritual shift. If you've been listening to me for a little while now, you would have seen that I had bags under my eyes. I was not looking very glamorous. I'm pleased to report that the bags under my eyes are now gone. And I'm feeling a lot more better than what I was before, but I've come out the other side going, right, I'm ready to take life by the balls. What's next? What can I do next? So I will be releasing a podcast very soon, which I'm super excited about. I've got a little bit of a one that I'm doing by myself, but Trish Rock and I will be partnering up for a huge podcast series, and it's just going to cover so much information about how to take yourself from, crappy, mundane, Groundhog Day stuff into really enjoying your life and changing your perception and changing your reality and what that looks like and how to attain that and how to maintain that as well. It's a bit like a diet, isn't it? We start out the gate super strong, feeling pumped. We know we can do this. By lunchtime, we're angry and we're hungry. By dinner time that night, the diet's out the window and we're back to having whatever we want. So, and it's about maintaining that diet. It's about maintaining that lifestyle and that mindset. And it shouldn't be hard. It should be something that you are empowered and passionate and are pumped to be able to do that. But sometimes you just need someone to give you a few tools on how to maintain it and sustain it for long-term future and long-term benefits. So that's what our podcast will be all about. So when we release it, you will see it up on Facebook. You'll see it everywhere we can possibly flash it. So keep an eye out for that. Let's get into this collective reading and see what's going on around us. We've got at the moment Venus. Venus is a retrograde in Gemini, so everything will come under scrutiny. Now, if you know a Gemini as a sun sign, or you are a Gemini, or you're Gemini dominant in your chart, you will know that you are very detail-oriented. You love researching stuff. You love understanding the finer workings of things. So when Venus is in retrograde in Gemini, you're actually going to look at relationships in particular. You're going to see how they're formed, what's going on for you, what you want to do, how you want to, you're going to start scrutinizing things, okay? So it's really, I'll just have a look at my notes here. So, we're trying to work out how things are going as far as self-worth is concerned, and our which is exactly what I've just been doing the last 10 days about my self-worth. and unlocking that and what that looks like. So, and the retrograde period for us with Venus in Gemini will be about understanding self-worth, our self-value, what that looks like, where that pivot point is and what makes it good for us and where we need to learn some more. So with that, we have a look at a collective reading, and we'll go and pull some cards for this. I think people are gaining momentum at the moment from a channeling point of view. People are gaining momentum. So people are going to go, okay, look, we've sat dormant for long enough. And if you can't see me on the screen at the moment, Spirit is letting us know that that is definitely what's going on, because they're flickering the lights, which is always nice for them to confirm it. And they're letting me know that people are starting to get antsy. They want changes. They want to move forward. What else is it? Uranus is coming out. Now, Uranus is a planet, of course. When I was much younger and starting to learn about astrology, I used to say Uranus and thought it was absolutely hilarious. I have grown somewhat small amounts since then. I still think it's hilarious, but I have gotten the habit of saying Uranus instead. This is about potential for sudden change, enlightenment, awakening, what this looks like for us, how it's going to look in the future. And this is exactly what just been channeled, exactly what people are going through. You know, what next? What is next? What can we do next? What other energies can we look forward to? Because people are waking up. They're waking up to not just even conspiracy theories. They're waking up to the fact that, God, I hate my job. I hate my life right now. Why am I doing the same old shit? And they want more. And I love that, because I'm an advocate for the evolution of self. I want people to want more. I want people to say, this is not good enough. I want more in my life. All right, Mars, planet of ambition and drive. Perfect. Because the physical energy, the drive, the strength, the spirit behind this, let's get things done. Mars is obviously the red planet, so we want to move things in a action orientated. We want to set fire to things. We want things to start moving. And the fact that Uranus is coming before this means a sudden change. So it's like you wake up on Tuesday, you go, oh, here we go, got to go to my job. And then Wednesday you wake up and like, stuff this. I want more. And that sudden change that Uranus energy brings in, and then Mars propels you forward. Mars keeps that going. Says, why should I put up with this? I don't need to put up with this. I want something more in my life. Let's see which areas of our lives this is going to affect mostly. The 10th house. Woohoo! Our careers. This is what I've been harping on about for weeks, ladies and gentlemen. I've been harping on about, if your job sucks balls, go and get another one. Now's the time. Rethink what you want to do. You don't have to go through the same old shit every single day. Your achievements and status in the world is coming under scrutiny. Venus in Gemini will create that. You will scrutinize things. The 10th house is your house of careers. How people see you in your career, your recognition, your worth from a commercial sense, you know, commercial sense, industrial sense, the working life, how people view you and place a value on you. And because you're going through this Venus retrograde, you're also going to be starting to scrutinize your own self-worth. So if your boss thinks that you're worth 60 grand and you've spent 60 grand on your education and getting you where you are, and your application to your task is worth 120 grand, this is about you valuing yourself. It doesn't matter what value your boss puts on you. Go and get a boss that does see you for what you are worth. What else can we go on with here? Your home and the roots of your being. So this is all about the 4th house for you. Where's that stability? Where do you get your stability from? You'll be thinking about, okay, if I change this career path, if I change my job, if I try to do something different, how will this affect my family life? A lot of us have got kids. We can't just chuck our job and go get something else. We've got to think about our mortgages and our partners and the pressure that these sorts of things put on our family. But that doesn't mean that that precludes us or stops us from putting logical, smart, low-risk steps in place so that we can better ourselves, so we can go and do the job that we really feel very passionate about. So you'll be weighing it up. How am I going to do this? How am I going to do this? The least impact on my family. That's really cool. It's happening, though. So you can go kicking and screaming if you like, but the universe will force you to do things. I wanted to move out of a career that I had a long time ago because I had gone to the top of the tree in that particular field, and I really wanted to try. It was in disability, and I loved it. I absolutely loved the community sector. It was just so humbling and grounding and just a beautiful sector to be in. And I worked predominantly with a high profile, a high percentage of my people were of a disability nature. So I really wanted to get into aged care. I wanted to also look at aged care, and the company I worked for would not give me this go. They just would not take me from my role because I was very, very good at my role. I had 160 people that reported to me, and they wouldn't let me go from there into aged care. So I actually had to go and find an employer that wanted to give me a go at aged care. So I had to do that, and I left that. I left that job that I really loved and a company that I enjoyed working for so I could go and further my skill base. It's not something that they wanted to give me in my current employer or who that employer was. And it was really sad because why can't I have these opportunities with this employer? But they didn't see it that way. So I had to go and get a new employer. I did that, worked very hard, got my knowledge base up, and then that employer decided that I did such a good job that I wasn't required anymore. And that for me was extremely humbling experience because I actually was able to meet all of my deliverables within the time frame. But it was also very deflating as well because I actually was made redundant from my position because I did a good job. Kind of like getting punished for being really good at what you do, isn't it? So I didn't really recover from that very well. So I had to think about what else I wanted to do. And did I want to move back into, manufacturing industries or, service industries? What else did I want to do? I'm an operations manager. That's my forte. I'm a strategic planner. I go in, I teach people how to make businesses better. That's my whole muggles career. So I had to think about this in the least impacting way that I could possibly do it. And what I did was I actually just reworded my resume. I took all of the things out that were disability related, aged care related, and I turned them into business principle related words. So I didn't lie. I just used different terminology that the service industry would be able to relate to. And sometimes that's all you need to do. A lot of the time you've already got a lot of these skills that you need to be able to move into your next career, but you don't really think about it that way because you've always done retail. Yes, you've always done retail, but that doesn't mean that you can't be a team leader in customer service. You've got conflict resolution skills. You've got a whole bunch of skills. You're really good with customers. You're really good at talking, communicating with a whole bunch of people from a whole bunch of different backgrounds, a whole bunch of different cultural ideas, a whole bunch of different religious beliefs. You've done all that because you've been in retail. So a lot of it is a mindset shift that we need to do. So don't just discard it because you think it's too hard. Think outside the square. What else have we got going on here? Oh, we're looking for harmony. Spirit's really flickering my camera today. We're looking for Libran energy. Now, this is about harmony and balance, and this is exactly what we're doing. We're getting Uranus who wants to get us to move forward. Come on, let's go, let's go, let's go. Mars is like, yeah, baby, let's do it. And then we've got the 10th house. I'm looking at my career. I'm looking at how this is going to affect my family. And then we get the Libra energy coming in. Now, Libra energy is about how can we do this without upsetting anybody? How can we make sure that everybody's needs are met and everything remains harmonious and balanced? And we don't want to upset anybody along the way. And that's these mindsets. And there's a lot of that mindset that is in, and there's nothing wrong with that. I've been in this mindset. But when we have that mindset, sometimes it creates an inactive. We don't move forward. We stay there because it just becomes too hard. We don't want to upset people that we love. We don't want to upset the people that we've worked with for 5 or 6 years or however long it's been. But the Virgo card comes in. Now, while I'm giggling, it's because Virgo is very draconian. It's logical. I understand that there's going to come a point where you're just going to have to say, stuff it. I want to make these changes in my life, and I'm just going to have to go for it, and people are just going to have to suck it up. And that Virgo coming in over the top is a really beautiful energy, because it's about being able to, Virgo doesn't do anything to be bitchy or nasty. They do it because they love you. They do it because they see the good, they see the variables, they see the things, the outcome, the big picture outcome. So the fact that there's a Virgo energy floating around at the moment says that, you know what, it's okay. Everything will be okay. It'll all pan out the way it's supposed to pan out. Relationships will still be harmonious. You'll still make changes. Think outside the square. Don't sit on things and be inactive or procrastinate, because it'll just, you won't do yourselves any favours. The whole world's going through a shakedown, mama. So use that energy to your advantage. All right, what else have we got going on here? I pulled out the Angel Oracle cards. And they're actually quite pretty cards, but I hate using cards because I am a midget, okay, like I'm really little, and I have really little hands, and they make cards for normal-sized people. So that's why I love the channel so much, because I got to put the card down and do it in 2 bundles half the time. Okay, divine guidance has come in. The search for meaning of life. No shit, Sherlock, this is exactly what we're talking about. Consider an alternative approach. Bingo. That's what we're doing. We're thinking about other things. We're thinking outside the box. How can we make this happen anyway? Surround yourself with wise teachers and friends. Look, every time I think, oh, okay, I want to do this, I'm not really sure how to do this, I flick it out to the universe and go, okay, universe, I need an expert in this. This is where I want to go next. Can you send me someone to teach me how to get there? And sometimes it is a situation that I find myself in. Sometimes it is an actual physical person that comes along that is an expert that just turned up out of nowhere. Sometimes it's an opportunity to witness something that you go, oh, I didn't think about it that way. A good example of this is recently I realized that a lot of my audience is auditory. They learn by listening. A friend of mine's is in the same industry doing the same things. A lot of her audience is visual. Now, we're attracting different audiences. A lot of our audiences cross over, but sometimes her message rings true to people that just don't get what I'm talking about, and sometimes my message rings through to people that just can't get what this particular person's message is all about. So there's a teacher for everybody, and it's about saying, universe, I don't know what to do next. This is where I'm thinking. Send me someone that can help. Think about that. What else we got here? Making wishes. These are really, actually, they're very nice cards. Making wishes. Dreams become reality. So all those things that you've been thinking about and mulling over and trying to get into your life, you can actually make them happen. The next card that comes out is an 8, and it's all about something better is happening for you. Something better is in the pipeline. You're attracting it in. You're thinking about it. Most of the world has been in isolation. In one form or another, we have had a bucket load of time to think about shit. Now, some of us have chosen that time to pick up crafts that we never did before, or to study, or to just stop and breathe and relax, because we have chaotic jobs and we don't get to stop and breathe often enough. So whatever it is that you've been going through, this isolation has actually been an opportunity for us to reset. So you've got to look at the positives here. Important to have balance. That's what we were talking about before, making sure that we're understanding where our family and friends sit into this, and our families and friends sitting into this, and how that looks. If we do want to chase a new career, or we do want to change our lives, how that affect others that are directly around us, our children and our husbands and our wives and people that are directly related to us. About claiming your personal power too. I just had someone stomp their foot down in my mind. So I get symbology and I get very clear things, and when I'm bringing in people, passed over relatives, they'll come in full human form, but they're translucent. I can see through them. But I'm getting someone who's putting their foot down and saying, that's enough now. I've not been happy for a while. This is an opportunity for me to change it. This is an opportunity for me to think about what it is that I want to do in my life and make those changes and go towards those changes. You just keep getting positive new emotional experiences are coming in. It's better course of action available for you. There's everything is all change related, honestly. Out of a deck of 72 cards, I think we got pretty much every single change related transformation card that you could possibly poke a stick at from this deck. We got them. So now is the time, whatever it is that's holding you back, if it's fear, work out where that fear is. Work out if it's a legitimate fear or if it's a bullshit fear. And, there are such things as bullshit fears, and our bullshit fears are the things that our conscious mind, our ego, tells us that it's dangerous if we do this, because our conscious mind wants to keep us safe. So it tells us that things are dangerous when they're not really. So that is a bullshit fear. That's just a self-preservation bullshit fear. Another example of bullshit fears is when your parents tell you that if you eat chocolate donuts, all your teeth will fall out. So you go through your entire life only ever having one chocolate donut, not realizing that your teeth actually won't fall out from eating 2 chocolate donuts. It's an irrational fear. It's a bullshit fear. But a lot of people don't move on from that. Obviously, donuts was a pretty poor analogy. It's the best I could come up with. But it's about working out what is a real fear and where that fear came from, and if it's an irrational fear or it's a rational fear, if it's a legitimate thing, okay? So phobia is obviously irrational fears. You can work through them, you can understand them. But if it's just something that you've been told and you've never questioned it, but it scares the pants off you, now's the time for you to research it and understand it and broaden your own perspective and your own knowledge so that you can make an informed decision on whether that fear is holding you somewhere for no good reason. A lot of the reasons why we can't move forward or we're incapable of moving forward is because there's that little part of us that tells us that we're not good enough. That's a fear. Or that we're too fat, too skinny, too short, too tall, too this, too that. And they're all bullshit fears because that's somebody's perception on us. That's a label that someone has placed on us that we have accepted into our lives as normal. And it's not normal. So something to consider and think about. We're almost out of isolation. I did predict 27 days, and the 27 days was up on the 10th of May. So we weren't too far out of that at all, that things were starting to change at a fast rate of knots. Still not quite there for some of the countries now, but there are a lot of questions being asked, which is fantastic because we are in the age of Aquarius. And if you know an Aquarian sun sign person or an Aquarian dominant person, you will know that they are the seekers of truth. They are the person you want to sit on a rooftop with at 3 a.m. in the morning and solving all of the world's problems, because they are so quirky and left of field that listening to them and being around Aquarian nature is just uplifting. They're the people that we want to move. They're the people, the age of Aquarius is all the questionings. Okay, why are we doing this? Why are we still doing it this way? We can't always do the same thing and expect a different outcome. Things need to change. And that's what's happening in the world right now. We've seen it. We've lived it. We're coming out the other side now. So there's still time for you to make changes. You are not a tree. If you don't like something, move. Yeah. You want to go play in the tree. Okay. So I will leave you with those thoughts for this week. If you are stuck or in fear and you're not sure how to move forward, reach out to me. I'm on Facebook. I'm on Instagram and Twitter. I have a YouTube channel. I have a website. You can catch me in all those forums, and I will help you and provide you with the tools that you need to be able to move forward, to let go of fear. There's lots of things that you can do to understand yourself better. And people like me, psychic mediums and advocates and empowerment influencers, such as me, we can actually guide you along that path. We can give you that little bit to get you started. You can come back and talk to us. We can do mentoring programs, a whole bunch of stuff. You do not need to stay where you are if you are not happy. So my website is www.insightsbyjohnita.com. Johnita is like John, John, then I have an ITA on the end. So it's JOHNITA. My name is everywhere. If you Google me, you will find me for all the right reasons, of course. But if you're looking for someone that can provide you with a private intuitive reading, a channel reading that will let you know where your blocks are, get you started on the right direction of where you actually want to be instead of just putting up with the bullshit, and I'm definitely the person for the job. So I think I'm pretty much done for this week. Thank you very much for tuning in. I hope you have a wonderful night. Listen to A1R Psychic Radio. And, of course, have a lovely week ahead, and I will see you all again very, very soon. Bye for now.